Welcome to another episode of Environmental Digest. Today, we are going to talk about the invisible threads connecting our planet's biggest environmental challenges.
So, in this explainer, we're really going to dive into the science behind what experts are now calling the triple planetary crisis. It's a huge story, right? It's about how our world is changing, but maybe even more importantly, how all these changes, well, they're deeply and dangerously connected. Okay, so to really get a grip on what's happening right now, we actually have to go way back into the deep past. We need to talk about a concept that, honestly, it sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but it is frighteningly real. We're talking about mass extinction.
Yeah, you heard that right. The Anthropocene, that's A-N-T-H-R-U-P-S-C-E-N, extinction. Now look, the Earth has gone through 5 of these before, sure, but they were caused by massive natural events, giant asteroid impacts, colossal volcanic eruptions. What makes this 6th one so different and, frankly, so alarming is that, well, it's us. It's driven entirely by human activity, and the speed, it's just off the charts, happening somewhere between 100 to 1,000 times faster than the normal natural background rate.
And right at the very heart of this whole crisis is the loss of biodiversity. This isn't just about saving cute animals like pandas, as important as that is. It's about the entire unbelievably complex web of life. You can think of it like the planet's operating system. Every single gene, every species, every ecosystem, they all play a critical part in just keeping our world running smoothly, keeping it stable and livable.
So here's where it gets really interesting, because this big, kind of abstract idea of biodiversity loss, it connects directly to you. I'm talking about your dinner plate, your medicine cabinet, even the clean water you drink. This is not just some far-off environmental issue. No, it's a deeply, deeply human one.
Let's start with food. Get this, a staggering 75% of the crops we grow rely on pollinators. Bees, birds, bats. But as we lose all this biodiversity, their populations are just plummeting. And that puts hundreds of billions of dollars worth of our global food supply at risk. I mean, think about it. Every third bite of food you take, you can thank a pollinator for it. And they're disappearing fast.
And what about our health? Nature is basically our greatest chemist. Over half of our modern medicines, I'm talking powerful antibiotics, even everyday painkillers, they came from natural sources, from plants, from fungi. So every time a species goes extinct, we might be throwing away the key to curing the next big disease or even preventing a future pandemic. The stakes are just incredibly high.
Which brings us to water. The one thing none of us can live without. Healthy forests and wetlands, they're like these huge natural water filters. They provide 3/4 of all the fresh water we can actually get to and use. But, and this is a big but, since 1970, we've wiped out over 1/3 of the world's wetlands. We are literally dismantling our planet's natural infrastructure, and the consequences, they're really, really serious. So, you see the pattern here, right? This is the crucial point. These aren't separate problems. Food, medicine, water, it's all connected. The crises threatening them are actually part of one single, giant, interconnected challenge. It's what you'd call a cascading system failure.
And this is exactly what experts, like those at the OECD, are calling the triple planetary crisis: climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution. They're not 3 separate fights. They're 3 fronts in the same war. And what's so dangerous is that each one makes the others worse. It's this feedback loop. For instance, as the planet gets warmer, it's tougher for species to survive. And as we lose those species, we lose the very ecosystems that help keep our climate stable in the first place. It's a really vicious cycle.
And this image, wow, it just brilliantly illustrates the domino effect that scientists keep warning us about. A healthy ecosystem, it's resilient, it can take a punch. But once you start weakening it with climate change and pollution, it can just suddenly collapse. A forest turning into a dry plain isn't just a local problem, it triggers drought. That drought leads to food shortages, and that forces people from their homes. See? One system fails and it just cascades, knocking over the next domino, and the human cost is absolutely immense.
So, the science is pretty clear on this next part. We're getting dangerously close to crossing some critical thresholds. They call them tipping points, and these are moments where a slow, gradual change can suddenly become rapid, self-perpetuating, and maybe even irreversible. We're talking about the point of no return.
And this isn't some projection for the future. We are already seeing this happen, right now, in real time, just with the warming we've already caused. Our warm water coral reefs, these are vibrant underwater cities of life. They support the livelihoods of hundreds of millions of people.
and they are bleaching and dying at an alarming rate. We are literally witnessing a tipping point being crossed. And the silence from those dead reefs, it's a deafening warning.
And it's not just the coral reefs. They're not alone in this. Scientists are watching other critical Earth systems that are just teetering on the brink. And if these systems go, well, it's not a local problem. We're talking about the potential for meters of sea level rise, enough to swallow coastal cities whole. We're talking about fundamentally rewriting global weather patterns for every single person on this planet, no matter where you live.
This quote just captures the urgency perfectly, doesn't it? The strike back of nature is not a future threat, but an unfolding reality. This is not a warning about what might happen to our grandkids. Nope, the impacts of these breakdowns are being measured and felt right now, all over the world. We see it in the extreme weather, the food shortages, the people forced to leave their homes.
Okay, but it is not all doom and gloom. Let's shift gears for our final section here. Because the very same science that is sounding all these alarm bells, it's also lighting up a path forward. It's pointing to these incredible moments of opportunity. The future, it's not written in stone.
And what's so fascinating is that this whole idea of tipping points, it works both ways. Just like systems can collapse, they can also shift for the better and fast. We're talking about positive tipping points. These are those self-reinforcing changes in technology, in finance, in our behavior, that can just launch solutions forward at incredible speed. I mean, just look at renewable energy. 10 years ago, solar and wind were kind of niche, right? Today, they're the cheapest new energy in most of the world, and they're spreading faster than anyone thought possible.
But, and this is a serious but, there is a catch. The window of opportunity to kickstart these positive shifts, it's closing, fast. And the economic argument for acting right now is just crystal clear. If we wait just one more decade, it could literally double the price tag of what we need to do. The cost of doing nothing is a bill that just keeps getting bigger every single day, and we're handing it off to the next generation.
So in the end, all the science, all the data, it leaves us with a really profound choice. The question isn't, can we create a better future? It's, will we? We are standing at this unique moment in history where we hold the power to trigger these tipping points, either towards collapse or towards renewal. So the only real question left is, which one are we going to choose? The choice is ours, and the time to make it is right now.